I feel like you're one of those people where we need to go through this timeline.
Ooh, pull out the archives. I was in a girl group. It was me, a girl named Camille, and B. Simone.
You were in a relationship and it was a domestic violence relationship.
That particular relationship just beat me down and weighed on me. After ending that and freeing myself from that situation, I'm like pouring myself into the gym. And from that, Summertime Fine Fitness was born.
You've had some really amazing opportunities, like your opportunity to work with Skims.
And I was just like, I just want something big to just affirm me that I'm moving in the right direction.
Right.
I'm just thinking like, I'm about to go there and shoot and I'm getting a whole billboard.
I saw that you transitioned through a lot of different things, and you have been able to find your purpose in different things that you're doing at that moment. When I look at your history, there's just certain people where it's like you'll see that God was just positioning them from the beginning. Your sister passed 5 years ago now, right?
Some people lose friends, some people lose siblings. I truly, truly, truly lost both. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It might be an emergency. Hello?
You're listening to the Wealthy Woman Podcast. Welcome to the Wealthy Woman Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, Brandi. I'm so excited to have you here.
Me too. No, this is dope. Like,
thank you.
From when you asked me, I looked it up and I'm like, that's all things me and things I support. So thank you for having me.
Of course. No, honestly, when I started researching you, that made me even more excited to do the interview because I feel like you represent what a wealthy woman really is, or what I think one is.
Well, thank you.
And I think, yeah, of course. I think it's because you've done a lot of different things. And I love that. I absolutely love that you have explored like so many sides of yourself, and you've allowed yourself to switch things, because I think people get afraid to do that.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think you've overcome a lot. And that is, yeah.
Yes.
Most people would not be able to bounce back after all of the things that you've gone through. And you've done a really good job of continuing to just live and thrive. Yeah. So we're going to get into all that.
Okay. And the fact that you said research,
of course.
That's so important.
Yes.
Because I think somebody said before, it might have been you, or like, do you know me? Like when they're asking questions, like, do you? So I love that. So thank you.
Yeah, because there are some other shows where you're like, why are they asking these
right.
basic questions?
Yes, I have a son. Yes. No, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. And also you've done several podcasts. Yeah. So, we don't want to be repetitive.
Right.
But I want to take it back. Okay. Because I feel like you're one of those people where we need to go through this timeline.
Ooh, pull out the archives.
Yes. Let's pull up the archives. Okay. So let's take it back. And I believe when you were a teenager, we're going to start all the way back.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. When you were a teenager, you used to be in a girl group, right?
Yes. Ooh.
Okay, tell me about this girl group.
Okay, so I was in a girl group. It's so funny because it kind of trickled down. Like we literally went from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2. But was in a girl group. We were called Fantasy.
Come on,
and
Fantasy.
we were dope. I feel like we were like ahead of our time. Like we were doing the things that I'm seeing now on TikTok, like the dancing and just like.
Were y'all singing or rapping?
We were dancing. We were rapping. We had routines. Like we were in like. What I will say is like our artist development that we don't see now, that me and one of my best friends talk about, is just so crazy. I'm like, we were like running on the treadmill singing Star Spangled Banner. Like we were in real life like artist development boot camp and had really great people on our team, and we traveled and toured and all that. It was great. It was a really, really, really cool experience. And I think that like for me being in the music industry, that kind of like shifted a lot of things that I ended up doing later on in life.
Yes.
But yeah, it was me and a girl named Camille and B. Simone that people know as a bomb comedian and
of course,
podcaster as well herself. Is that what it's called, podcaster? Is that podcaster?
B, tell her to get it right. Tell her to learn what you do. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we are podcasters.
Okay, yeah, she has a podcast as well. But yeah, we were all in a group, and it was just like a time, and we learned a lot about ourselves, learned a lot about the music industry. So Fantasy, look us up on YouTube. Jesus.
No, and see, because the reason I wanted to touch on that too was because I feel like you do so well when you do media, and you are not like, you're not one of those, like, I don't even want to call you an influencer, like, because I feel like that would be like diminishing what you are as a person, but like you're such a well-rounded person. So of course. But I think when it comes to media and interviews and stuff, you always do a really good job. And there's a lot of influencers that talk in their content that don't show up as well as you do on camera. And you don't even always talk in your content, you know?
I gotta get better at that too.
No. And that's not shade. I'm just saying, like, for you to be this good on camera, I'm like, we gotta go back and like talk about why that.
Yeah. So we, like I said, like with that arts development, we were doing like media training and singing and vocal coaching and just being around all types of different people and learning from these people that have been in the industry. So that taught me a lot. And it also like showed me how I want to be in certain situations when I was like getting mentored by some of the other artists and all that. So that definitely helped in what I'm doing now with the influencing side.
So when you guys ended the group after that, from my research.
Like a minute, 2022.
Yes, right. No, in my research, I found that you were in a relationship, right? And that ended at a certain point. It ended, and it was a domestic violence relationship, right?
Yes.
Did that overlap with you being in the group or no?
It did.
Ooh.
It did.
Did your members kind of like notice anything or no?
And they knew just because we're very, very close. So yes, they knew. They knew about what was going on and all that. Yeah. So once you came out of the group, I believe once you got into fitness, you were out of the group by then, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you came out of the relationship, the group. That's a big transition.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
When I look back, I'm like, that's a lot on like a young girl.
Yes.
Like, so I like pat myself on the back just because like, I'm like, wow, like I didn't give myself that much grace and that much like applause at that time. But looking back at my big age now, I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
On a young girl.
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Because I've dealt with that, like losing so many different things that you do in your day-to-day life. Like whether it's a relationship, a business or whatever, it's like, that was your work. And then you also lost an important relationship all around the same time. Yeah. So there's a lot that you're probably working through, healing from, trying to figure out your next steps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you said that you got into fitness after that, right?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like what transitioned me into that too, was because that particular relationship just beat me down and weighed on me emotionally, physically, just everything. Yeah. And after ending that and freeing myself from that situation, I'm like pouring myself into the gym. Yeah. Just because I felt weak. I felt broken down. I felt like I couldn't turn to anybody, to be completely honest. Yeah. Being completely transparent. And I took myself to the gym and just buried myself in weights. And just like, I would be in the gym for like 5 hours a day. And just
I've been
like,
there.
Yeah. Just like, girl, I was in there like, people would be coming and going. I'm like, at this point, it's 3:00. I've been here since 8 a.m. And I just built my body up in the gym, just from learning and reading and all of that. So on top of like, you know how you are in the gym, you start scrolling on your phone, you in there for hours. But from there, I just learned a lot about my body and about how to build myself up because I was skinny. I was stressed. I was skinny. I was tiny. Yeah. And I was truly like a walking example of what a lot of my clients that ended up coming to me. I'm like, I can show you how to do this. Like, I've done it myself. I'm a walking, living, breathing example of like what I can do for your body because I've done it myself. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've done it myself. So that's kind of how all that happened. Just I did it myself instead of like, you know, some trainers, they try to tell you, oh, do this, do that. I'm like, but you don't look like that. Right. So it actually helped that like I had invested the hours and the time
and you've seen the transformation.
Exactly, something beautiful came from a terrible situation, but I ended up turning into something positive.
I love that.
And burned myself out of the gym.
Were you naturally skinny or that you said that was from the stress?
I mean, definitely from the stress, but I was always a ballerina. So I grew up dancing. Yeah. So I was already really small, but like I was like significantly thinner and just stressed and just bones.
Wow. No, I understand. I've been there. Yeah. And I got like when I got into that head frame with myself, like after a breakup and losing some stuff, it was like I saw myself and I didn't even recognize myself. And I was like, I'm gonna go in this gym. And it was like you said, you just spend hours in there and there's so many things happening in your head. And it's like there's moments where you're scrolling on your phone. There's moments where you're like sitting there and you're like
zone out.
You zone out. Yes. And you're like disassociating and it's just you just pour yourself into this thing. But in the end, it feels good because you see how you transformed yourself.
Oh, I was
sitting.
Listen,
Yeah.
like my leg. I'm like, I remember somebody comments on my legs. They're like, you look like you got horse. I was like, well, I'm proud of my horse legs.
Not horse
because
legs.
I worked hard on knees, okay, and I look good. Like if you knew where I was, like this is good.
No, yeah,
so,
no.
And when somebody said that, I was like, maybe I should tone it down a bit.
No.
But yeah,
no, don't let them talk you out of your horse legs.
Baby,
okay?
I was a little muscly. I was a little muscly. I was like, you know what?
Maybe I should only spend 2 hours instead of 5 at the gym.
Thank you.
No, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
So then after you got into fitness, people, like you said, you were taking clients at that point. At a certain point, you started taking clients.
I started taking clients because at the time I was still teaching dance. I was still very much in the dance world, and from that, and I'm like, okay, I've done this much with my body. Now I kind of want to make this into like I want to motivate some other women, and I want to be kind of like, I don't want to say a spokesperson, but I'm like, I want to tell my story, not talking about the relationship, but just where I was mentally, everything, and what the gym has done for me. I want to kind of be an example to women of like, this is where I was broken down. My body wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I kind of used that terrible situation and turned it into something positive. Yeah. And from that, I'm like, you know what? Oh, it started because people would randomly come up to me in the gym. Yeah. And asking me questions. And I'm like, I could tell you, but like, right. So I'm like, you know what? I prayed about it. I'm like, God must be motioning me in a different direction. And this is my purpose, like to help and to be an example and to motivate other women. So I kind of took that, just random people. I'm like, I could do this. Yeah. So took it more seriously, got my certifications and everything. And from that, built something beautiful. I was still teaching, but it kind of got to the point where I had to make a choice. Yeah. Do I want to keep teaching, or hey, it's clients? And when I say clients, I don't mean like 30. It's like two or three. Clients
are clients, listen, okay?
All comes from somewhere. But I don't want to let her down either. So I had to make a choice, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this leap of faith. I don't believe that God will let me fail. I've come this far, and I'm in a better space mentally. I want to help other people. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened. So I took that leap of faith, stopped doing what I was doing before, and got into my training. And from that, Summertime Fine Fitness was born. And like I said, I had like 3 clients at that point. I'm like,
it don't matter. No, and that's the thing. So I want to touch on that a little bit, because the way you even said that, I'm like, you must think back on that time. You're probably tuning into how you felt in that moment. It's like, oh, it's only 3 clients, right? But it's 3 clients.
Absolutely.
And at that time, do you feel like it was hard for you to trust yourself to like make that transition?
Yeah, but I also rely heavily on my faith. I'm gonna keep saying that, like, because that's gonna, my story is all faith based. Like, it's just like stepping out on faith and taking chances and taking risks and all these other things. But I don't believe that anything that God places on my heart, or any idea or any dream, if he didn't give it to me, or if he gives it to me while I'm sleeping, it can come alive while I'm awake. Ooh. So the fact that I'm like, okay, I'm trusting in him. Let me take this leap of faith. I don't know what's going to happen.
You don't.
3 turned into 6, turned into 9, turned into 12. Like, my clientele just kept growing and growing and growing. And I came like this big trainer in Dallas that everybody wanted to train with. And in my eyes, I'm like, they want to train with me? Right. Okay. But it was just became a beautiful thing, and I was just that go-to girl trainer, which as women, we definitely like our male trainers, but a lot of women, either they don't feel comfortable with a male trainer, or I got a lot of the women that are like, oh, my husband doesn't want me to, or my boyfriend doesn't want me to. Yeah. And so the clientele that I brought in was a lot of women. I mainly train women. That's what my business was all built of, was women. And I would get guys like, oh, I want to train with you. I'm like, I only train women. Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's how this show is. I'm like, I only interview women.
Yeah. So that just turned out to be something freaking beautiful. Like, and such a movement. Like, I just loved my clients. They were just amazing.
I can see you're lighting up as you're talking about them.
Because it was like therapy sessions. Like, we're training, but they're telling me about this and that. And like, I just had the most, it was just so like the fun. I had the bottle girls. I had like, it was just, we were a vibe. Like,
no, it sounds like a vibe.
Yeah, it was good.
I need you to bring it back so I can come.
I know. I've been praying about it. So we'll see.
Okay. So when you did Summertime Fine Fitness, it expanded into apparel too, right?
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Like, what made you decide to expand it to that?
So I've always been into fashion. I've always been into, well, I worked retail, have studied retail, fashion, merchandising, all that.
Okay.
And I just love everything fashion.
Yeah.
And I've always been like a hustler. Like I've always just either sold something or did something. Even in high school, like I'm selling jewelry. I'm always have my hand into something.
Yeah.
But my clients would just be like, oh, we should get t-shirts or we should get, so they kind of inspired it. And I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Exactly.
So they would kind of be my guinea pigs, and I would bring them like sports bras that I would get samples of from overseas. And I would get like shorts. And I'm like, hey, put this on, work out on this. I want to see like if it works while you're jump squatting or if, so we're trying out all these things, and they were truly like my guinea pigs and like my little babies that I'm like, okay, we'll take it home. Let me know what you think. Wash it, all that. So from that, something just so cool was born. Summertime Fine Fitness. I did like cool campaigns just because I wanted to keep it still very fashion based. So we would do campaigns. We would do like the real like whole campaigns, photo shoots. Like,
people still remember them campaigns.
I did Finchella, which was like a playoff of Coachella. I did like the Summertime Fine Soldiers, so we were all dressed like soldiers. Like I just
come on, soldiers.
It was truly bringing my two loves, like fashion and fitness, together.
Yeah,
I definitely want to bring it back. I just may rebrand it.
Okay.
I think I may rebrand it.
Hey, we'll support. It don't matter.
Everybody was so supportive. They loved it. Oh my gosh.
No, that's what most people know you for is the Summertime Fine Fitness. Yeah. Because I think at that time there weren't a lot of women. Like, of course we had like the YouTube people that would do the workout videos and stuff, but there weren't a lot of people that had developed a whole brand around their fitness and they trained and had the apparel and had like, you were a pioneer, like that was kind of leading that.
And I saw that like, if I have all these clients that are putting all their support into me and I'm transforming their bodies and all that, like they're going to support anything I do.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they're going to support anything I do and it's actually great quality and I built this ground up and they helped me do it, like that just like...
Of course.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It just ricocheted into something huge that I just had no idea. Like I just truly saw numbers that I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that?
And I think that's one thing that people don't even realize when it comes to business or just anything really. It's like what you're working towards is the momentum.
Right.
And when you get that momentum, it's like things just start going. They just start moving.
And all these ideas, like, it made so much more happen. Like from that to this and I want to do this now and I want to do that now. And all my girls were just so supportive. And not even just my clients, like people that would hit me up from, come to Houston, come to LA, do a boot camp, do this. And I'm like, wow, like this is a real movement. Yeah.
Was your self-concept changing in that time? Like, because you are changing so much as a person, right? Like just the work you're doing and then people taking to you and being like, oh my gosh, I want to support it. I want to, I want you to train me, all this stuff. Like, did you start seeing yourself the way you thought about, like the things that you thought about yourself? Like, was it changing? Or?
It was, because before that, I never saw myself as like this huge inspiration and like this, like I've always been for women. I've always been an advocate of women, but I'm just like, I just never saw myself in that light. So like just getting all these confirmation, I'm like, you gotta be doing something right.
Yeah.
Like it's all these people that want to come train with you. It's all these women. You're changing these women's lives. They're looking forward to coming and seeing you're doing something right.
Yes. You're walking in your purpose.
Yes, exactly. So they were just confirmation that like I'm doing something right. And I'm really proud of like the movement that we're doing and we're making together. And I think that's why they like keep like come back and all that. And I'm like, I'm praying about it. I really want to. Just got to make sense with like everything else I have going on right now.
No, I feel you. And I think too, sometimes like your purpose will change from season to season, and I think being that I've, as I researched, I saw that you transitioned through a lot of different things, and you have been able to find your purpose in different things that you're doing at that moment,
Definitely.
And do you feel like, because I think a lot of people think that their purpose is just like one specific thing in this life. Ooh. But have you found that, well, this is what I'll say. When I look at my life, I always see my purpose more so in my impact versus the thing I'm doing. Yeah. Like, it's not about the task. Yeah. It's about the impact I'm leaving on people. Yeah. And do you see any patterns in, when you think back on everything that you've done, do you see any patterns in the way that you've impacted people?
Definitely. And I always I pray about that. I'm like, Lord, use me as a vessel.
Yeah.
Like, allow me to inspire somebody today, this week, this month, this year. Like, so I think that every situation and every thing that I've touched on has always, like, I've been able to impact in some way. Even with, like, the training. I'm like, you know what? That random person that asked me in the gym how to help them, like, it may not have been a big deal to me, but I made an impact on their life. And then I know in Summertime Fine Fitness, just all the people and all the women and all that I made an impact on. And just every season of my life, I definitely, to answer your question, yes, I think that I've impacted in a way that has
that's lasting. People will always remember everything that you've done. I feel like everything, because even like I said, like me and my team, when we were researching you, all of them had a specific memory of like things that you've done, you know, throughout the years, and each one was different, but like that to me that shows impact, because when people can remember and pinpoint like, oh no, when she did the Beychella thing, or when she did Summertime Fine Fitness, I love that, because I'm like, don't limit yourself. Like, people may remember you for Summertime Fine, or they may remember you from your girl group or whatever. Like, you can keep changing and evolving and rebranding as many times as you see fit, because you're in different seasons, different chapters of your life. And God is going to, like, yes, you're still walking your purpose, but he may be like, oh, well, now you should be doing this, or I'm going to direct you this way. So I love that. Yes. No, I found that so interesting, because everybody else on the team knew a lot more about you than I did. And so just hearing it from all of their perspectives, and then me having to like put the pieces together and hearing it from you. I love that. Yeah, that's why I feel like it made researching you fun, because it felt like I was learning about this whole well-rounded person. And so it's just beautiful to see your journey. But you did eventually start training celebrity clients, right? Yes. So tell me about how you got into that, because I feel like a lot of service providers, that's like the pinnacle to them, to have celebrity clients. Like, how did that even happen?
I'll definitely say a great friend circle, and from being in the music industry too. Meeting people, being in the right rooms, and rubbing elbows with the right people and all of that. And I'll definitely say that I have been blessed and fortunate enough to be always placed in really great influential rooms with people. Even like my PR now, like, she's always placed me in great positions to like, hey, like, she's worked with everybody, so she's always going to place me. And I'm like, with that, and with I'm actually really good at what I do.
You are, yes.
So I'm like, it's not, because you get that kind of stigmatism where you're like, oh, she gets that because she's pretty or this. I'm like, no, I'm actually really good at what I do.
Exactly.
And I pride myself in that, because it's taken hours and time and all that. Like, I'm actually really good at what I do. So put that on top of like being surrounded in the right circles and everything, and getting these different type of clients, and having these, like you said, what people love more than anything is seeing somebody that that may inspire them, working with their favorite celebrity. Or this person, that person. That just kind of elevates your career. It's like, oh, and she worked with so-and-so. Like, that's dope. I want to work with her. So I've been fortunate and blessed enough, again, to be placed in these positions.
No, I completely agree, because I feel like even when I look at your history or my history, like, there's just certain people where it's like, you'll see that God was just positioning them from the beginning, from the beginning. And as they keep living, all of those different experiences start to add up and to compound.
Right.
And even when I think of wealth, I think of that, like, in general, like, money, when you become wealthy, or when you're trying to get wealthy, it's a thing of things compounding, all these little actions or little investments or this and that. And over time, it just starts compounding. Yes. And so same thing with your life. I feel like God has just been like placing you in certain rooms, or placing you in certain circles, or, leading you in certain directions. And then it just all starts compounding.
And so now,
and so now you're at this place where it's like, whatever you decide to touch or whatever you decide to do, it's like blessed, or because you have become this person that he's like been building you up to be.
I was about to say that has built me thus far. So
yes.
The people that I've met, the people that have helped elevate my career, that I've been able to put on my resume, has drastically helped, and just kind of helped put me on this platform that has just allowed me to grow in all these different directions.
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of, you've had some really amazing opportunities, like your opportunity to work with Skims.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So tell us how that happened, because like, girl, all the girls want a Skims billboard.
That was so surreal. That was so surreal. I'll touch on two things. I strongly suggest y'all tag your brands. I don't care if you paid for it, if it was gifted to you, whatever, tag your brands, because now in this day of social media and like how a lot of these companies are doing their marketing campaigns and everything, they've realized that, oh, influencers or this person or that person can make way more of an impact than hiring this huge marketing company.
Yeah.
So I spoke on her before, but my PR is amazing. She is top notch. She's great. A very, very, very dear friend of mine who I've worked with for years. Yes, who I've worked with for years, is always going to bat for me. But I have always loved Skims. I started wearing Skims since it very first came out because I love Kim Kardashian. She is just all things boss, all things entrepreneurship. Like, she's great to me.
Same, yeah.
So I've always supported the brand. Happened to have tagged it.
Okay.
And Skims reached out to my PR, and because she's in my bio, and,
okay.
wanted to shoot with me. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is huge. Like, I remember being in North Park, like, I forget what I was doing, but screaming. I was like, what? Like, is this spam? You know how you get a lot of that spam stuff? I'm like, is this spam? Like,
no,
is this real? Like, she's like, yeah, like, you're going to LA. Like, this was a little bit after COVID, and so ended up going to LA, shot with Skims, which was, oh my god.
And that was the like come up, like when Skims was really first, starting to like,
nobody really, well, not to say nobody really knew, because people knew, but like
people knew about Skims. It was just like they were just starting to like get that momentum where everyone was like, okay, we like this, whether it's Kim or not, like we just like Skims. Right. Yeah,
we're gonna support it. We're gonna support our girl.
Yeah.
And so went there, and I mean, just I've worked with a lot of brands, and I'm just like, this is the real deal, Holyfield. Like, this is like, oh my gosh, I still like get chills when I think about the experience, because I'm just like, this was so dope. Like,
was it like when you got to set and did all that? Like, what was that like?
Everything. Like, I'm like, y'all doing my nails?
Oh,
like,
they did everything?
Girls did
everything.
Come
on, glam.
Nails, hair, like, and again, like, I've had that done, but I'm like, these are like the people that work on Kim. Like, this is huge. Like,
yeah, it's a different standard.
Yeah. So, did that. That was so cool. And so we shot all that. And then a few weeks later, they're like, oh, here's everything coming out. Oh, and by the way, your picture got selected. It'll be in New York starting, I forget, I think it was August or September. I'm like, I almost wrecked my car. I remember. I was like, what?
Right.
I'm just thinking like, I'm about to go there and shoot, and
be on the
I'm
website.
Getting a whole billboard.
That's crazy.
Was on People. Like, it was a huge thing. Like, People magazine, like Yahoo News, like it was crazy.
That is crazy.
But so I ended up finding out later that like Kim was doing that to like support people that had been supporting her. And she's like, nobody had any idea, but I thought it was so cool, because I'm like, Lala got a billboard. Like, these big people, I'm like, and little old me, I'm on a line up with these girls. Like, this is huge. So I say that to say that us, like, from supporting that brand, that's what came from that. And I strongly believe in like the power of, number one, manifestation. Cause I kept telling myself, cause that was after I stopped training, and I was just like, I just want something big to just affirm me that I'm moving in the right direction. And that's what started taking off my influencing.
Wow.
Because once you start working with this brand, all these other brands are like, oh wow, she was on a billboard. Oh, she did this. So again, that's that momentum that came from like me training the celebrities. It's like, oh, she worked with this person. Okay, I want to work with her. Now it's like, oh, Skims worked with her. She had a billboard. Now we want to work with her. So
it's
like,
your cosign.
That is, listen, that is just affirmation and confirmation that you're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
And I love that for you. I feel like that is just the beginning of things like that for you, because I can see you continuing to do that for sure.
I looked up, I was like, sis, you did it again.
That's just the first time. What? That's just the first one. No. That's just the first one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, but that's a special moment. So you went to go see it and everything?
I went to go see it multiple times.
Oh, period.
I took my parents, then I took friends, and I just had to sit there, because I'm like, models work their whole life
for that.
And some don't ever get billboards.
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't, not calling myself a supermodel. I've modeled, but I'm like, I have a whole billboard in New York City
different.
In a meatpacking district. Like, that is huge.
Huge.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
And I feel like, because at the time of that was after your sister had passed, right? Yeah. So let's
just imagine all my emotions. I was just like, wow, you did it.
Yeah. So let's kind of, shift gears a little bit.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I know this is not like, that's not a good segue.
No.
But it was after that.
Yeah.
So to back up a little bit, your sister passed 5 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
So, and literally her passing. So just for people that are listening, we filmed this before, and it was the week of it was actually the day before, the anniversary of your sister's passing. Right. Mm-hmm. And so at that time, when that happened, what was that like for you? Like when she had, cause it was sudden, right?
It was sudden. And it was a lot. It was, grief is real. Mm-hmm. And I was that was not just my sister, that was my best friend.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't realize with losing, I'm like, I lost both. Like some people lose friends, some people lose siblings. I truly, truly, truly lost both.
Yeah.
But that grief process was crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it truly taught me that like God is so real, because that is the only thing that's the only strength that I know that could have gotten me through that part of my life, because it was a lot.
So would you say that time was a period of transition for you? Because was that like the tail end of you doing Summertime Fine Fitness? Oh, no?
No, that was the booming time, actually.
Really?
And I had to, of course, take a step back because I was a robot. I literally had nothing to give. I took a lot of time off.
So that caused that? Like,
yes.
Okay,
I took a lot of time off. But yeah, that time was difficult. And I truly can say that like anybody that's lost anybody, I can finally understand that like, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It might be an emergency.
Okay. No, that's fine. Like, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. Are you okay?
As you can see, I'm in a whole different outfit now. And the last clip you just saw was Brandi getting a phone call that was a little chaotic. I want to catch y'all up to where we are right now. It is a few days later, and Brandi had to leave because she had a family emergency. And the energy after that, even in that moment, because of what I was asking her, everything was just kind of low. Like, it was a lot going on. It was very confusing, a lot of emotions going everywhere. And if you watched my solo episode that I just put out last week, you'll know my feelings about the situation. And so we decided that we were going to finish this episode. If nothing else, we were going to finish this episode. So we decided we're going to stop pretending because this is the third time we have tried to film this episode at this point. So we said, no, we're doing new outfits and we're doing a whole different conversation. We're not going to pick up where we left off. We're just going to take it in a new direction. Okay. Because I don't like the energy that we left things off at. So this is not that kind of show. And the point of this is to be encouraging and to make sure that you guys are inspired with what you hear. So what you're about to see is me and Brandi not picking up where we left off. We're picking up on a new note. And I hope y'all enjoy what we recorded for you. I love it. So let's get into it. Hey, Brandi.
Hey, girl.
So let's catch people up. Because at this point, we can't even fake it anymore.
Girl. Last time I tried, I was like, do we say the same script or how does this work? But yes.
We were trying to fake it because we've already posted about this on our stories and people were getting excited. I didn't even tell you, people in my building will stop me and they'll be like, oh my God, I saw you interviewed Brandi.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, me.
Girl, people love you.
Aww.
But because people would remember the clip, we were like, okay, let's wear the same outfits. Let's do all the same things. And that didn't work because then an emergency happened during the last filming, the second filming, right?
Thank God everything's okay. Everybody's okay.
Yes.
But yes.
Everyone's okay. Thank God.
That was traumatic. Like, what do I do? But
yeah, we're all like, wait. And that's the only reason we have the footage because we didn't know in real time if something was actually happening or if you were just going to say something and then hang up and then we could keep going. So I'm glad everyone's fine. But this time I was like, let's just not even pretend.
Yeah.
Let's just come back. The whole team was like, no, we're going to get the rest of this interview.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Trinity, all things in threes. Okay.
Right. No, exactly.
So,
ooh. Okay. I like where you're going with that. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Also, I noticed a trend that every time we talk about something traumatic, that something weird happens. So let's actually just skip where we were. Let's just shift directions.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So instead, I want to actually get back into more about you because, we were going to talk about some things that have happened to you, but you've actually already discussed these things other places. So it's like, why even keep beating a dead horse?
Right.
So let's talk more about you. And as far as like you changing and developing into this season that you're in right now, because I think that one, you post consistently, but at the end of the day, you've evolved into a new version of yourself,
Yes.
And I know everyone right now loves like to talk about reinventing yourself and stuff like that. But it's not even that you were intentionally trying to reinvent yourself. Like you have just moved into the space. So you just had a baby.
Yeah.
You are like, you've been healing from all the other things that we were, going to discuss.
Right.
And it just seems like you're so much lighter and happy right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
And it's like, as I'm listening to you and like asking these questions, it's kind of like, like a da, 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 da. Like all these things are kind of like
flashing in your head.
In my head. But that's so beautiful because I love looking back and even hearing myself saying certain things or like hearing and seeing my growth is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So just you saying that, I'm like, wow, like that is like evolving. That is like growth and like seeing where I am today and like just remembering where I was and like, oh my God, like God, how am I going to get out of this and all those things. So like real growth and like seeing where I am now and where I was is just so beautiful. So I think just like God growing me in each chapter and each like place, like every single time and every single place that I've been in, now that I look back and like the struggle or whatever, I'm like, it makes so much sense because I was where I was supposed to be at that time.
Yeah.
And
so wait, let's get into that because you said something about how there were moments where you were asking God, like, how am I going to get out of this? So what were those moments like? Like, were you feeling like your back was against the wall or were you just feeling like things weren't panning out the way that you wanted them to?
Back against the wall, hit rock bottom, not really understanding like God, life was going so good and like all these things were happening and I'm doing all these amazing things and I'm on this platform and all these great things that people from the outside looking in and even me living in real time is like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then these traumatic events happened or, the business wasn't doing what it was supposed to do at that time.
Yeah.
It's just like, God, like what is going on? But that was just me, I think like not understanding and not really, I always actually say that like, when you're uncomfortable, that's exactly where God wants you to be. Like when he makes you uncomfortable and you're not used to being there. And it's like God's making you uncomfortable because he's about to grow me. He's about to take me to places that now it makes sense. But at that moment, I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like God, this was not in the plans.
Right.
And he's like, well, that's your problem. Like, I didn't tell you to make the plans. Like all I told you was to sit, be still. And listen, like you're trying to do too much. I just need you to be right now. You're trying to do too much.
Yes.
We're not human doings. We're human beings.
And I think that's another thing I've noticed even for myself is like when things are going really good, I think sometimes we forget to be in tune with him because we think that things going good is a sign that he's in it.
Yep.
And sometimes that's not the case.
Ooh.
Sometimes things can look so good, but it's not really what he wanted for us or what he planned for us.
And he's like, all right, you dibbling and dabbling in this right now. And it looks cute and you're having a great time, but I'm about to shake up your world because that's not in my path for you. That's not what I need you doing.
Yes.
That's not for you.
Right.
And we have the hardest time at listening and all that. That's why he keeps shaking it up and keeps shaking it up and keeps shaking it up.
Yeah.
But
I think that even just shows how resilient you are as a person because I think a lot of people go through things like you've gone through, but they don't have to do it publicly. And there have been multiple times that I can recall where you've gone through certain things that you had to like publicly address or publicly explain, and that makes it even harder because everyone's paying attention as you're healing.
Eyes are on you in any small thing. Like, is this a subliminal? I'm like, no.
Right, you can just write a caption and someone's like, wait, who is she talking about?
I just, whatever the case may be, but like I'm saying, damn. You're thinking this. I'm like, no, it's hot. Like, but literally. It's addressing things publicly or all eyes being on you is challenging. And it's just like, how do I move forward in this? But I'm very proud of myself. And I've heard just from friends and family and support system just how graceful I've been able to like handle things. And like, because I do see a lot of times, and we all see it on social media, where there will be an issue with a couple or whatever, and they always address things publicly, or they're airing out business and all that publicly. And it's just like, no, I just believe in just doing everything gracefully. Whatever is addressed to the public or whatever is seen in the public eye, just like everything doesn't need a response. Everything doesn't need a reaction. Like,
and I actually just saw something like that. I saw a couple doing that. And I know most people would be like, "Ooh, the tea," but I was like, "Can you just leave me out of it?" Like,
I don't want to be in it. Take me out to close friends, please. Or like, just don't. It just, everything does not require that. And I know we live in that time where like social media is such like a public display of everything, and everybody feels like they need to, to each their own. If that's if that's your outlet, great, grand. If that's not, it's not the way I choose to address things, but I am very proud that the fact that everything was and has been in the public eye, and there has been eyes on me, but I'm just like, you know what, let me just do this gracefully, and it's not everybody's business. I'm going through it. You're not. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's great that you were able to like set those boundaries, because some people have a hard time and they feel like they have to, like they're required to explain.
I have to say something.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't have to.
No, you don't. You don't owe anybody an explanation.
Exactly.
You could talk to God about it.
Exactly.
Talk to yourself about it. Write in your journal about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And even just like after we filmed the first time, you came to me and you were like, "Girl, I actually don't even need to say all that.
Yeah.
Like we can just actually cut that out."
Yeah, because
what's the point?
Yeah.
You're at a different place in your life, And so, but even with that, I think that is just, it's hard, I think, because even myself, when I've gone through different things, I have struggled with just bouncing back, and just getting to myself to the point where I feel the courage to try again.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, because I think it's different when you are, and this is not to diminish anyone's journey whatsoever, but I think it's different when it's like you do something, everyone didn't see that you fell, right? And then you're like, okay, I can dust myself off, get back up. And that's just a struggle with you and you, right?
Right.
You got to fight you and get back up.
Yeah.
But when it's like everyone knew the wins that you had, and then you fall down, then it's a little different.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was that like when you were dealing with yourself and getting yourself to that place where you were able to try again, even getting, posting consistently, doing like, it's the small things that are still very hard sometimes.
I think definitely it wasn't that everybody's seeing me fail, technically. Right. You know what I mean? And I didn't look at it like that, and I don't feel like that. But the beautiful thing in that is like, I'm actually excited, or I was excited to show people that, I did go through this, and my business did fail, quote unquote. And I did fall out with a business partner and all these other things. But like, I'm so excited for them to see my journey now by myself, and taking what I learned from the situation, picking myself up, and to show people, because I get messages all the time. Like, you have no idea what your story did for me, or how it impacted me, or how what I'm going through. So I think that was just like God kind of positioning me to be a voice, and to show other people that like, you may have the spotlight on you, and you may have had this huge successful business, and everybody was just supporting and all that, but it wasn't what I wanted for you in your path. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's not going to work out for the long run, which is fine. I'm not going to question God and how it all worked out, but thank my support system, my family, my friends, that help lift me up. And even like, I'm very self-aware, and I'm really in a great mental space to where I know that like I've hit rock bottom and not been in the best mental place in the loss of my sister. Yeah. And so I had already felt like, damn, like the worst thing has happened to me. This is not the worst. This
Yeah.
is not the worst thing that could ever happen
Yes.
to you, and has not happened to you. I feel like the worst thing has happened to me. So
Right.
with it kind of, and that was also very public as well. You
Yeah,
know,
and no, and that's what I was referring
yeah.
to too, because I was using myself
Okay.
as the
Yeah.
example of loss.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
it wasn't just like you losing, like falling down from failing.
Yeah.
It was like you also were grieving.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that happening, and just, I'm like, okay, the worst has happened. So now, you know, anything else that happens in my future, I am equipped for, I am ready for, like, I am good.
Yeah.
So I think just like my self-awareness and my mental being where in a really, really good place really
Yeah.
helped me be confident enough to just be like, you know what, you fail, you fall, we all fail, we all fall, but your resilience is what's going to get you through this. Like
Yeah.
your prayers, your support system, all of that, like that's what got me through it and able to do it like publicly. So to answer your question in full, to be able to get through it publicly, and all of that is just like my self-awareness and just my mental being in a really, really, really good place.
That's good. Would you say that you were always at this place where like
No.
Yeah, because I was like, typically it doesn't always start that way.
But I think after going through all these things and like just like learning and just growing and like understanding that I think that God will always, not gonna say break us down, but like get us to places where we need him. Like it's not always gonna be glitz, glam, pretty, all that. Like I've been broken down to the ground. And the beautiful part about that is when you're at the bottom, you don't have nowhere else to go but up.
Listen.
So I'm like, I've been there at the very bottom and I can't go no lower. I am rock bottom.
Yep.
But the beautiful part about that is it's like, I'm gonna go up. And like, I just understanding that like, you've been through so much and people that don't really know that or understand that and my story and everything. Like, yeah, I live a great life now and thank God.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always like that. And there have been really hard times and things I've had to go through publicly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
what were those conversations with yourself like when you were trying to get yourself to the place you're at now? Like, was it a conscious decision to be like, you know what, I'm going to consciously try to get to it? Like, because I know for me, I got into a place where I was sick of myself.
Sick of having these conversations. Donnie, with yourself.
No, because it's like at a certain point, you just be like, okay, I'm actually tired of being sad and being depressed or being like, woe was me. And, you know, or even being mean to myself, you know, and putting myself through the ridicule and my own voice of like talking down about my choices and stuff. It's like, no, actually, I'm going to be proud of myself, you know, instead, or I'm going to, And so was there a time like that where you were like there was a conscious decision to shift things?
Yes. I always have this thing that I say, and I actually post about it a lot. And I say, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And I would like, so that I didn't stay in those moments. I'm like, you can have a day, you can have 2 days, but don't stay in that place.
Yeah.
Because that's not you. I'm a natural upbeat person. And that's actually what helped get me through my grief too. I'm like, obviously I'm grieving like the worst thing and my best friend and all that, and my sister, but you're not a naturally down, depressed person.
And she wouldn't want you to be.
No, exactly. I'm upbeat. I'm happy. I'm all these things. So I pride myself. I'm like, you can have a day, sit in your pajamas, cry, eat trash food, drink if you want to. You know what I mean? Have those days, a few days, but don't make that your lifestyle. Don't become depressed. Don't sit in that space because you have something so great in you that the world should see, whether that's ideas, picking yourself up, being an inspiration to somebody, getting on the internet, just posting, just because I really enjoy writing and I enjoy posting and I enjoy being a creative. And I think that like a lot of people need to see that, because if it's not me that's posting it, you know, their other favorite person or whoever may do it. But I like being an inspiration to people. And I know that just from hearing supporters and all that, they're like, oh, I miss your posts. I miss your prayers. I miss this. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So pick yourself up, allow yourself those days, go through the motions, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to cry, all those things, but don't stay in that space. And I think that that's what's helped, because I'm like, I'm giving myself grace and I know when I'm not okay.
Yes.
And I don't want to pretend to be okay, but I also don't want to stay in that space. I don't want to stay there. I want to get up. I want to be all right. I want to keep pushing. I want to be resilient. So
yes, no, and that's really it. Like, because what I'm hearing you say is you gave yourself permission. You gave yourself permission to be different than, like, in a different state.
Yeah,
because I think sometimes too, like you said, like when you're grieving, especially, there's this expectation of you to be in a low spot, you know, and everyone's like, oh, like, handle her with care and all this stuff. Not that they shouldn't, but it's like, maybe it's okay to have a day where you are happy. You know? No, nothing's gonna.
And I was going to the gym when I was grieving. That was my like escape. Yeah, and I do think some of my family was kind of like, she's at the gym.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't love your sister just because you're at the gym.
That's what worked for me at that time. I want to escape. I want to put on my headphones. I want to go run. I want to get on my bike. I want to spin. Like, that's just what got my head out of where, like, around, you know, all the family and everything and just the sadness and all that. I'm like, I need to do this, and I'm going to talk to her at the gym, y'all. And no, nothing wrong with that, like being at the house and grieving, crying, all that, that's fine, but like I need a moment for myself. And I went there. I went to the gym every single day. Yeah
No, I love that though, because even that, it's just like, people probably expect you to be in a dark room crying or something like that, and it's
staring. Like, they're like, she okay?
Exactly. But it's like, your life doesn't have to end, you know, along with hers. It's like, you're still here, and she would want you to continue being yourself and maintain your essence. And I love that you chose to do what worked for you, and you gave yourself permission to do that. That's so beautiful. And even in that, it's like, I think a lot of times when we get into these spots, especially if you repeatedly have traumatic situations, you know, because I've, just like you, I've had some things back to back, and it was and it's like, sometimes people allow those things to take them out, or they're like, maybe this is a sign I should stop trying. Right. But in reality, no. I think sometimes the enemy wants to get us to a spot where we're hopeless. You know, hopelessness is very hard to come back from. Right. And anyone that is like into psychology and all of that, they will tell you, like, that is the spot where like really bad things start to transpire, you know, when you get to a state of hopelessness. And so I think that when you keep consciously making a choice to keep fighting, or you keep making a choice to, like, even if it's not a fight, it's just like, I'm gonna just show up today.
Yes. That the enemy's like, nothing can break them.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. And I understand that, like, these days everyone wants to talk about soft life and all of that, you know.
Yes. All over TikTok. Yes. What a soft life. My day in the soft life, my soft girl era.
Right. Yeah. But in reality, and actually, let me just say this disclaimer, because one of my previous guests, her conversation was around soft life. Okay. This is not me making a reference to that. Okay. Because these are two different conversations. What I'm saying is, people idolize this, you know, idea of, especially Black women, we do need to rest, right? We are always going through a lot. But I think that we're not also being honest, right? Because a lot of these people that are portraying that soft life, quote unquote, because even I think people would look at you and be like, oh my gosh, she has this amazing life. Yes, amazing soft life. And you have all the things that most people wish for or put on their vision board. Right. But it's like, at the end of the day, that's not really where the depth is, or where the transformation takes place, right? There are these moments where God puts us in these spaces where it could turn into hopelessness, right? Where we could get discouraged, but really he wants us to wake up and, like, see that he's trying to develop us, or trying to, you know what I mean? Stir something up inside of you. And even in those moments, for me, it was like, that was when my purpose came to the surface, or that was when new gifts surfaced, or that was when he was giving me vision for the next season, and, like, you know, and healing. I was healing parts of myself that didn't need to come with me to the next season, you know? And so I think that a lot of times us promoting that soft life, that kind of negates the beauty of that waiting period, or the beauty of the growth. And the work. Yes, because I think we look so, like, we try to run from it, and it's like, no, that's where you become who you're meant to be in this life, you know?
I agree.
Yeah. So would you say that, like, it has given you clarity on how you want to move forward in this next stage of life that you're stepping into?
Definitely. And let me not get it twisted. We love a soft girl era. We love all of that. We love to just, like you said, rest and just be and just, like, have things done for us and all those things. But the beauty in, I think, my, I guess, journey there's been some soft girl. There definitely, I have lived the soft girl life.
Yes.
But with that is I have worked and I have hit, like, again, I don't mean to keep putting emphasis on this, but hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And,
no, I feel you.
But it's made me really, truly, like, appreciate where I'm at now, because I truly believe that I wouldn't have been where I am now had I not went through all these trials, tribulations, hardships, all those things, losses, all of that. So it truly makes me appreciate where I am now, and just not understanding in those hard moments where I'm like, God, like, what is going on? Like, why am I here? Why am I struggling? Why am I hurting? Why am I crying? Like, all these things. But now looking back, I would go through that 10 times again to be where I'm at now.
Literally.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. I don't want to say the loss, but the process after that.
Yes.
And understanding and just seeing, like, damn, where I'm at now is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm still getting there, and I'm still growing, and I'm still so excited to see where I'm going to go now from where I'm at now. But
I'm excited to see too.
Yes. Yeah. But the transformation has been beautiful. Like,
yes.
Thank God.
No. And I think too, cause I think some people, they'll see that period, like you said, of hitting rock bottom as suffering. Right. And there is some suffering involved, of course, but I think when you come out of it and he brings you through it multiple times, I always say I like to keep a track record with God. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Because just like anyone else, you know, in your life, you would see, okay, how do you show up in your life, for you, for me,
right?
Like what is your character?
Right.
And I think his track record shows me his character. Ooh. So now I have an elevated level of faith because I can see, well, every time he's brought me through it.
Listen.
Why would I be scared now?
Right. Why would I be scared, or why would I question?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we get to this place of peace, and we get to this place of being able, like, because like you said, the other day something happened and you right back here and you happy again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like these things are not taking you out the way they used to, because it's not, and I don't want to say like you have to be, because I want Black women to feel safe to be soft, you know?
Yeah.
Like safe enough. So it's like, no, we don't have to be these strong, resilient women, but it's like, it does build up some type of stamina for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where you can handle the things that life throws at you and whatever God allows you to go through. But I'm like, if he's allowing me to go through it, it's for my good.
Absolutely. And he's never going to bring us to something that we're not going to get through, that he can't get us through.
Yes.
So it's like, God, you did it last time. I know you're going to do it again and again and again. You are my Father. Like, I trust you.
Yes.
Like, with everything in me. So I know you're going to get me through this.
No, I love that. Yeah, I agree. So in this next stage of life for you, what would you say is like what you're hoping it looks like? Like, what are you, because I know like we can't write it for God, but what are you hoping to experience in this next season of life as you step into motherhood and, you know, this happy relationship that you're in now? Thank God. Yes. Like, I'm so happy for you.
God is good. Definitely just raising my son.
Yeah.
And that just being a beautiful transition and amazing, just like, just transformation of my life and everything and what life is and what it used to look like. This is just, I understand now when women talk about like how their kids change their lives. And of course, as if you were never a mom before, you don't get it, but
you don't get it. Yeah.
That is just beyond unreal feeling and experience. But just raising my son and then just still continuing on with my entrepreneurships, which I'm so excited about all the new projects I have coming up. And then just continuously finding myself. Like, I love this mom era that I'm in, and thank you to everyone that's been complimenting and like,
yes, you have
just,
a glow.
I love you in your mom era. And I'm like, I do too. I like this for me. Like, it's
how
so
would
much
you say
fun.
It's like changed you? I know it hasn't been a long time because you just had you look amazing, by the way, to just have had a baby. But
I'm trying, y'all. I am trying. It's definitely changed me because like you just never know what to expect. So it always keeps you on your toes. And like the smallest things that you just don't think about. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna run to Target real quick. But I'm like, I'm not going to run to Target real quick. I'm going to pack his bag. I'm going to get him in the car. I'm going to get a stroller. Like all those things. It's just so, it's like, but it's beautiful. Like I have zero complaints, but it's just truly just made me just look, and like everything just revolves around this beautiful being, like everything. And so that alone just gives me just new purpose. And like, he's all that matters. It's so crazy. And so everything I do, like how I was before, like I'm like, oh, everything I want to do for my sister, and that still is forever going to go on. And like, but now it's just like for him and for her. And now it just makes me want to do double, because I was already working overtime and overdrive for her. Now it's like, okay, I really got to go hard now. So now I have all these ideas, and like even like 2 weeks after he was born, I'm like writing down all these ideas and things I wanted to do, and like name all these new companies and businesses after him. Like, and just God is just filling up my heart and my head and just everything with all these great, beautiful ideas.
Oh, I can't wait to see
new businesses. So y'all stay tuned.
So would you say that like being a mom has changed? Well, I'm sure it has changed your day-to-day life. Like, how are you juggling everything right now? Pause. You're like,
it just like, it's so funny because all the things that you think about or that your friends have talked about, and like, just like from like, he spit up on me when I was trying to get ready to come here today. And like, also, I knew nothing about babies prior. So like, we're learning together. Ooh. Him and I are learning together. No. I'm like, are you good? Are you good, Mom? Like, I had never changed a diaper before him. I didn't rate. Really? Like, I did not grow up like with babies. So like,
no, same. I don't know what I would do.
The very first diaper I ever changed was his.
Wow.
Like I had to learn everything. So we're learning together. So I think that that's really cool. And I have this mommy mantra thing that kind of just keeps me like, I read them every single day. I actually share them on my post. So mommies, get to check my post.
Yeah.
But it just kind of keeps you and reminds you that like, this is their first time here too.
Yes.
Y'all are both learning together. This is a beautiful experience that you guys are learning together. So you're not technically doing anything wrong, as long as you're doing all the right technical things, obviously changing diapers, feeding him, all that. But like, y'all are both learning together. So this mama journey has just been like, obviously making sure he's always taken care of, but then like transition, like it has been a struggle just cause like I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm so used to like, I was actually telling my man the other day, I'm so used to having my hands like in multiple things, or being able to like do 20 things a day pertaining to business. And now it's like, he's my business.
Yes.
And even before him, my businesses were my babies. So now it's like, you're my baby. And these other businesses are like your little second cousins and third cousins that like we're going to get to, but just juggling. But obviously like him coming first and just figuring out just, I just don't know how to sit down. Girl. I don't know how to sit down.
I know. I get it. So when you've been an entrepreneur for so long, that's hard to retrain yourself from. Yeah.
And so my man and also my mother they're like, be a mom right now. It's okay. You're in that season.
Yeah.
Be a mom. Like that is, and mind, I'm so grateful for him. I don't mean that in any other way than just I don't know how to sit down. So they're just like, be a mom. That's okay. Like that is a huge accomplishment. You just pushed a baby out of your vagina. Like
that's beautiful that they are even like saying that to you though.
I could say vagina.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you could say vagina. We won't get demonetized. It's okay.
That's a technical term. But
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that's our body.
But so with him and being a new mom, it has just, because I am used to being all over the place and having my hands in 20 different things, but I am comfortable and happy where I am right now and where God has placed me. And my job right now is to be his mom first. And all the other things are going to come at their time. When God says it's time, it will be.
How did you get to this place of allowing yourself to, I'm sure you have moments of being critical, like of yourself, but like, how did you get to this place where you correct and you're like, actually, no, it sounds like you give yourself a lot of grace.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say that. That was my answer. Like giving myself grace and just being like, nope, that's okay. That is okay. Because you are where you are right now. I am where God wants me right now. And even if it doesn't look like, feel like, sound like how I want it to be, this is where I'm supposed to be. let me just be. Let me be a human being. Let me just be. Let me give myself grace. Everything's going to work out how it's supposed to be. I used to always want a instant solution. Like I'm a Capricorn. I'm solution based.
Me too.
Like, yes. Did I know that?
I didn't know you were December 23rd. When's yours?
January 16th. That's why we're here. Oh my God. So you're like me. I'm so like, if somebody like tells me something, like, what is the solution?
No, literally, even when people are venting, I have to correct myself and say, oh wait, they just want to get it out.
They just want to vent. Ooh, girl. I do the same thing. So my best friend's like, how are we gonna I just want you to listen. I don't need a solution. I don't need an answer. I just need you to listen. But I'm very solution based.
Same.
I'm like, okay, we can cry about it, all that, but what is the solution?
Right. How are we gonna fix it?
Girl. So with that, I'm just like, all right, just be. Like, stop trying to be a control freak.
Yes.
Stop trying to fix everything. Stop trying to make it on your time. Like, just be. And it's taken me some years to get there. So am I at the age that I'm at now? I hope I've gotten it figured out now.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning, but like that's been the most beautiful thing, because I love to hear myself correct myself, because I wasn't always like that. So I'll just like, did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay, girl, that's growth. Like, I like that.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm giving like hippy dippy when I'm like, oh, look at me. Free flowing.
Because we're not that.
We're not.
Girl, we are not free spirited. Like, we are like, do. What is the solution? Okay.
Yeah.
You're a Capricorn.
Yes.
Wow.
But I even see it in the way that I handle, like, even like everyone that's here helping, right? Old me, it would have been like, no.
Yes.
Like, everything would have been, and I'm like, no. I'm going to bring up if there's a problem, and then I'm going to let everyone bring to the table how we're going to figure it out.
Yes.
And I don't have to
hard.
like...
So I applaud you for that, because as a Capricorn and as a woman, and because I see your personality, I can see how that would be a struggle, but also like I said, delegating other people, that's hard for us.
Yeah. Oh no.
We want to do everything.
Oh honey, when I delegate something, I'd be like, you have to do it this way. Yes. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Now it's like, oh wait, you have an idea? So tell me how to do it.
Right. Yes.
You know? Dang. Because it's like, I'm realizing that I'm actually stressing myself out more by trying to like control everything.
Yes.
And that's really what it is.
Right.
Like, when you're not giving yourself grace, it's because you have all these expectations in your head. And it's like, who put them there? You did. It's like okay.
Nobody else. God didn't. Nobody else. Your friends.
Nobody.
Like, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great. We're just hard on ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here. I get it.
Me too. It makes so much sense.
So much sense. Wow.
Oh my God.
No, I love that for you. And I think like that is just such a beautiful place to get to, honestly, especially in this season of your life, because there's going to be a lot of things that you're learning, not just about being a mom, but just about yourself.
Right.
And so you giving yourself grace right now allows you to even recognize what you're learning, I think, you know?
Yes.
Because if you weren't giving yourself that grace, you would probably keep trying to correct to who you are.
That's not right.
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
No, this is not me. This is how I do it. And it's like, no, maybe you're not that anymore, and it's okay.
I'm not in a box anymore. It's not. It doesn't always have to be. There doesn't have to be a solution every single time. It's just like, nope, just everything will be as it should be.
Would you say that your identity overall feels different? Like, just like when you step out, because even tonight you're going out and stuff like that. Do you feel different stepping out now? Yeah.
I do. It's so funny. I do.
Like, what does that look like for you? Is it just like do you feel like people are perceiving you different, or is it just an internal thing?
It might be an internal thing. But I definitely feel different. I definitely so I completely get why some moms may feel either like insecure about certain things. That's not my thing, because I've just never been an insecure person.
Love that.
But I can see how somebody that was insecure would feel even 10 times what I'm feeling, because when I do go out now, it's like, I just have all these thoughts about like, what's it gonna be like? Is my baby okay? Like, it's just all these things you think about now.
Yeah. And
just going out and just being social now just feels different. It also feels like a task. Like, everything is a task now. Like I said, when I was coming here, I'm like, okay, I got to get his bottle ready. He has to be fed. Is he okay? He's screaming. He spit up on me now. Like, it's just It's a lot.
No, and I appreciate you for coming because this is the third time we've done it, and I can only imagine.
But
what
it's
all
a beautiful
has to
thing.
happen.
I'm just like, but it's like I enjoy this at the same time because it's like, dang, like I dreamed about this, like trying to put on my makeup, holding my baby. Like, yeah.
Would you say that your friends are receiving you well, like in this new stage, or do you feel like it's too fresh for them to even like change up or anything?
My friends, I have a great support system and a village that like they understand. Even when I was going through like my mini postpartum, everybody was just so supportive and like they knew me. So I was always Miss Turn Up girl, wanted to go for drinks, wanted to be out at dinner every night. Like we was at Ocean Prime 6 days a week. Like that's me. So the transition, everybody kind of gets it. And they're just like, you're a mom now. Like, cause I'll feel bad. I'm like, no, we need to go to have sushi. We need to do this. We need to do that. They're like, girl, you're a mom. Okay. I will come over there, bring us some wine. We will order in food. Like those are the friends I have. They're so great. And like,
that's beautiful that they're making adjustments instead of just leaving you out.
Yes.
I mean, like, oh, we'll see you later.
Right. No, it's, and then I moved too. So I'm way out there now. So they're like, no, we'll come to you. And like, what do you want to do? Like, we'll do something that like us and the baby can do. Like, it's been good.
That's beautiful. Yeah, no, it sounds like you have a really good support system. Like,
I love y'all. Y'all can see me, hear me. I don't know, camera to look at.
That one.
I love y'all.
No, I think that's so incredible, honestly, because that just makes it such a easier transition, you know?
Yeah.
Because in this stage, like we said, you're changing and your life is changing. Everything is changing. So that's beautiful that you have this space to like transform into who you're meant to be in this next season, and like, you know, just allow yourself to be and figure it out. Yeah. Like you don't have to. There's no expectation of you to show up a certain way.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask you, so because I know you were talking about different businesses and stuff that you're working on. Is there anything new that you could talk about at the moment, or is there anything that you want to talk about that's changing with the liquor store? Like, give us something, girl.
So I've been really heavy. So a few things. Well, two things. I've been at home a lot, obviously, with my baby. Yeah. And I love to write. I'm a journal. I love to journal. I love to just write down my thoughts. I've always been into writing. So I read my baby books every day. And amongst that, I'm like, I want to, create something special for him. So I am working on a children's book.
I love that.
That I think would speak to so many people that either have a story similar to mine, as far as losing a loved one. So that's all I'm going to give you, but it's beautiful. So I'm working on that. Can't wait to just kind of dive into that more, but I feel like I can comfortably talk about it now because I'm getting in like the proper stages.
Yeah.
And production, and that's progressing. And then as far as the liquor store, working on just like our own lines. So like vodkas, wines, tequilas, our own kind of house brands that people can shop. And so, that's kind of, so getting back into that with the baby. Yeah. That's kind of what I've been struggling and has been the challenging part, is like having him and then still wanting my hands and all these other things. But like I said, it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. Absolutely. And I'm so excited to show it to the world and have everybody support.
Yeah, we're going to support you for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So I do want to ask you, typically I always ask a question about being a wealthy woman, but I think would be even more fitting is, instead of asking you, what do you feel like it means to be a wealthy woman? I feel like you are a wealthy woman. Every person that I bring on the show, I want them to represent some version of that. And you've been through a lot, but you've overcome a lot. And so for the woman that is like in that space where they're trying to overcome something and they're like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it out of this, what would you say to them? Like, what were you telling yourself when you were in that spot to get to this point?
Ooh, that this is temporary.
Ooh, yeah.
This is temporary. And you will always, you're always going to get out of any space that you're not meant to be in. And I don't think that any of us are meant to be down low at rock bottom. Yeah. It's temporary. And understanding that for myself and knowing that like I'm not going to be here forever. Like God is about to bring me out of this and so beautiful, and it's going to be I'm going to laugh at this in a few years or a few months or whatever that looks like, and I'm okay being where I'm at as long as I am doing something to help me get out of this spot. Like so let's not just say that just stay rock bottom, just get on social media every day, look at your phone. That's not no that's not what God means by making us uncomfortable. What that means is going to him, having him fill our mind with ideas and doing the work and being productive and all those things. So I would say to the women that, you know, need some type of like inspiration, or they're not exactly comfortable where they're at, or whatever that looks like for you in your season, like that is a season, that is temporary. You are going to get out of that. Do the work, believe in yourself, keep asking God, listen to him as well. We ask and we don't listen. It's just like, well, I've been praying for 3 days. I ain't heard nothing. I ain't seen nothing. No, like be still, pray, listen, and he will move you the way you're supposed to be moved. That's it. That's it. Yeah. We can't do anything, like you said, that's not of his works. Like that's not what's meant for us.
It's not. He's always going to stop it.
And I feel like I have been successful, and I have become this wealthy woman. I don't mean to put it in quotes, but I'm using them.
No, I get what you're saying. Yes.
Wealthy woman. Just because I've listened and I've done the work, and I'm comfortable in all these different seasons. I haven't been too hard on myself when life hasn't looked like what I thought it was supposed to look like at that time. No, he's going to keep moving me. I'm going to be uncomfortable. That's beautiful. I love when I fail sometimes. It's like, ooh. Yeah. God, where are you about to take me?
Yes. What's about to happen? Because that's always me now.
Something is about to pop off. Something is about to be great.
Yep. Gotta be.
That's, because you have never failed me.
Never. Never.
Ooh. So I think that's truly what makes a wealthy woman, is believing in yourself and understanding that like this is temporary. We go through seasons.
Yeah. Ooh, that was so good. Thanks. I want to pass that around the offering bucket or something. That was so good. Well, Brandi, tell everyone how they can find you, or I mean, this camera, yeah. You're like, which one? No, yeah. Tell them how they can find you, support you, stay up to date with you.
Absolutely. So follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Ooh, what else am I on? Yeah, Instagram and TikTok are the main ones. Brandi Yvonne, that's Brandi, BrandiYvonne. Follow my store as well. Come see us, 5100 Lemon Avenue here in Dallas, Texas. Come support. And yeah, I'm just so excited for all the great things I'm going to bring you guys. And thank you so much for supporting me and watching the podcast. Aww. And support her as well, wealthy woman. Get all the cameras. This is so good. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here for the third
time.
At this point, we just have a weekly meeting.
We're besties at this point. Exactly. Hey, girl. I'll be same time, same place tomorrow.
Same place, right? No, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this
and not
was
treating
great.
me like I'm being a diva. You know,
no,
no.
You know. I get it. If anybody gets it, I get it. Yeah. Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, just making sure. Did it come out?
We'll censor it.
Did it come out?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Again, I don't know what camera to look at. So.
You're good.
Is it cut?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, okay. Hold on, make sure that's not. Okay. Jesus.
Yeah, make sure.
Never know.
That'll be a blooper.
Lord. Is it him?
Is it somebody else? Is the baby? Who's calling?
Literally, mommy.
Right, but eventually that'll be happening.
Oh my God.
You could be like, what is it?
Seriously.
Can I have this cookie?
Are you okay? You can. Oh my God.
Look at you.
I love it. I want your life. I want your life.
Right.
The soft life for real.
Literally. Right, literally.